This is Fox 6 News.
And that is chaos at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. 2 families torn by tragedy, several detained, a couple hurt. Tonight's big story, 2 families learning the fate of a man who hit and killed a 6-year-old boy with his van.
He got 1 year in prison, and that was the spark that ignited that big fight. Or was it? Our Brett Bagansky heard 2 totally different stories tonight.
Ted and Ann, good evening. The victim's family was outraged by the judge's sentencing. I spoke to them about how they plan to move on from here, but also about the fight after court. One, the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office says members of the victim's family started. This was the result after a verdict was read. Sheriff deputies breaking up 2 families as punches and shoves were exchanged.
Get down on the ground right now!
It got so out of control, a deputy drew his taser but didn't use it. This was the scene minutes before. 23-year-old Dedrick Ashford sentenced to 1 year in prison after pleading guilty to driving without a license and causing the death of 6-year-old C.J. Wade on April 23rd.
The sentencing was too short, a year. He took the life of a 6-year-old. To me, it seemed as if he was gloating over the outcome.
Patricia Slayton is the victim's grandmother and says it was some taunts inside the courtroom that started it all.
Dedrick's brother said some things to some family members of my family that was unacceptable. He made some threats.
Slayton says Ashford's brother challenged her son to a fight outside the courtroom, but the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office had a different take. In a release, the department said someone from the victim's family shouted that the sentence was expletive and the defendant is a murderer. As deputies escorted the victim's family out of the courtroom, some of them spotted the defendant's brother in the hallway and ran after him, which started the brawl.
I look at my family every day and I see the hurt and the pain in their faces.
As the investigation continues into what happened after court, a family will try and find closure from this tragedy. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department said 3 people are in custody for their role in the after-court brawl. A deputy was struck in the head several times. 1 injured her wrist. Charges are still being determined. Live in the newsroom, Brett Bagansky, Fox 6 News.
Okay, thank you, Brett.
Another courtroom clash, this one pitting the Milwaukee County Sheriff against the top judge in Milwaukee County. Sheriff is not happy with the decision today, one he says puts women in Milwaukee in danger. The judge says it's the sheriff who's confused on this one. Fox 6's Myra Sanchek explains.